just, we can get caught up in, you know, we need curriculum. Curriculum's great, but it's the use and the delivery of curriculum that's so critical and important. And that's sometimes where we fall down. It's like we develop all this curriculum, which is great, but now do we utilize it to prepare and plan, and do we utilize it to deliver our instruction every day? And that if you don't have good supervision and making sure that that's happening, well, I firmly and truly believe that having these 3 positions you'll see an increase and an improvement in our curriculum, both in the development of curriculum, the quality of curriculum, and the delivery of curriculum, because they will have more understanding and be able to be closer to what's real and what isn't real. So, whereas a curriculum director who's trying to oversee 70 programs, it's almost impossible for him to get in and really get a handle on what's really happening with regards to curriculum. A director of curriculum help develop and get curriculum developed. The director of curriculum doesn't always have the time or the expertise to get into the classrooms day in and day out where these people do. So I think that's, I think it's going to help us as a school when we talk about curriculum. And the state will love it. I believe that the state will love it.
That's all you wanted to know, Tom.
Yeah, I can sit here, because what they care about is what's happening in the classroom. And what's happening in the classroom will be better, so the state will love it. That's my belief.
Well, I believe what you believe. Okay, I think this is going to be a good thing that actually develops ownership relative to curriculum. Okay, I understand the concept, and I guess my concern is, in the past, when the state comes in and they view our way, and they look at how we're doing business, and they don't see the word curriculum and standards, is there something that should go on top of that, curriculum assistant principal, or something along that, so that we just don't rustle up any feathers, you know? Why ask for it?
Yeah.
That's all I'm.
But I think in response to that, in the job description has curriculum, and the other thing is with regards to the state just knows every day of practice. The state knows what we're doing. We have more communication with the state and DSC than since the inception of the school. We are closely monitored by the state. We are constantly communicating with the state. We have the DSAC who oversees our school because we're a level 3 school, who we are constantly in communication with Dave Trope, who is the chair of the administrative leader for the DSAC at the Northeast. So the state, the kinds of things we're doing with this here is part of the recommendations the state has made. If you look at the recommendations the state has made, they said we need to improve in our curriculum. We say we're doing certain things, but we're not delivering it. And so this is going to help us meet the recommendations the state has made to us. And that's something we'll articulate. We're actually going to be meeting with Eva Mitchell, who's going to send over someone to see how we've done with their recommendations. And I believe that they'll be pleased to see this kind of progress in terms of making our organization more functional in terms of instruction and learning.
Very good. Principal Freeman?
I think John covered it all.
Mr. Rossi? Mr. Rossi?
A couple things, John. I know you touched off on the administrative budget. Am I understanding correctly that the budget will stay the same until that, with these changes?
Well, but we're not adding any, in terms of the administrative team, we're not putting any new administrators on the administrative team. We're shifting, which doesn't mean that we're going to be using, like, I know Mr. Vargas was concerned about moving one person to a certain position. It's not an automatic, like from this position you get this position. Everyone has to apply for these positions. If the skill set and the expertise, they will go through an interview process, and if they're the best person for the job, then they will get the job. And it could be someone who's already here, or it could be somebody that's not already here with regards to. But whether we believe that someone already doing it, like our director, does he have the skill set? I believe he has the skill set for this, absolutely. But it's not because If he's not here tomorrow or next year, it's more about, you know, like everyone else, we measure their performance and at the end of the year decide whether we're going to rehire them or not. You know, so I think that plays heavily into any decision making as to how these jobs get filled.
There's a crossover when David was talking about the lead teachers, which are not non-administrative. However, they don't take a lot of budget. However, it takes some teaching time away because they have a reduced schedule as well as a stipend for long. So there's a crossover over there. Keeping that layer, I suppose it's not administrative, but it's still part of the administrative team. One shape or form. So this year coming up, the intent is to keep the lead teachers in place. So with them in place, what does that do to the budget? And then does the budget go down next year? Take them out?
Well, we've kept, they are in the budget for next year. If we took them out of the year, budget for the following year, then there would be savings there with regards to the money that we spend on the teachers. But we'd have to look at, and the question then becomes, you eliminate academic lead teachers, you leave shop lead teachers, or you leave both of them, or vice versa. So it's a conversation we would have at the time of, as we start to build the budget and look at. Well, it's really, in all honesty, driven by our school improvement plan and what our priorities are, and how we meet those needs and priorities in terms of what we're trying to do in terms of the school. You know, and we look at data. Like right now, the teachers, staff is doing the conditions for school effectiveness survey. Once that's all done, we put a team together. We look at the data and the results of that, and that drives some decision making about. That's what helped drive the decision making about these three positions. We felt as though we needed closer supervision in the trenches and more support for teachers. And teachers were telling us they needed more support and they needed better feedback. And we believe that these positions will help teachers. They'll get better feedback because they're going to be working with people with content strength, as well as they're going to be knowing exactly what the problems and situations are the teachers are dealing with day to day, because they're going to be closer to, in essence, to the action going on every day. They're going to be down in the classroom more closely, and that's going to be a big part of their responsibility and focus. That's going to be their biggest responsibility, is the observations and evaluation of teachers and having the time to do a quality job with that, because there are three of them that will be focused on that. So it's going to help improve the teacher skill and help students perform at a higher level, because that's going to improve the expectations we have on students as well.
Mrs. Fitzgerald?
Under the reorg chart that you gave us here, the two new positions, of which we have a draft copy, are you looking for us to approve that?
Nothing, no.
Okay.
Just to reorder this time. And I guess,
Go ahead. No, I'm sorry, I didn't read it.
I would just say that in approving the reorg, for each of those positions, I would request being able to post for those new positions.
Vargas?
The other, from the middle of page right, you have three assistant principals, and from the middle of page left, you have 4 directors. It seems like the scope of these new positions, these 3 assistant principals, are similar to, say, the director of special education. And actually, I would argue that the director, the director of technical programs, career technical programs, I would argue that that scope is broader than each of these. So I guess, should we call them directors, or should we call any vice principal?
That's an interesting conversation, because we've been battling over that for the last 2 months, what we should be calling them. The word director has come up a few times. And Liz has had most of the conversation with people about that, so maybe she can address that a little bit, how that conversation has gone on.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I want to say is, and certainly we're open, is being a district in a school is very unique. I know when I came here, when you talk about top heavy, I thought, wow, vocational schools have a lot of administration. Well, they do, because you're a district in a school. So that means that everything the district has to do for 20 schools, 30 schools, you still have to do for one school. So why I just say that is, it's like after working for 6 years and really understanding all of it, is why we are struggling with it, because directors normally are central office, but here we're one school, and so in terms of coordinating it, it's under the principal. You still need assistant principals to have that operational piece that you don't have. A director of special ed is doing different work than some of the operation that you need people to be doing. So I don't have a great answer for that, other than we've been going back and forth about what it should be called, and I'll be honest, one of my concerns to the superintendent was giving up the idea. We had 2 assistant principals, we had 2 deans. We've actually been cutting, not doing the, not adding. And so my concern, if we wanted to be more content-based, was to take away the assistant principal pieces, where is that going to leave the operations, which is big. The operational piece of the everyday and the whole student body and coordinating things, which is really big. So we were open to the director idea, but then that other piece really gets lost, because that's not traditionally what a director is. So it isn't smooth across the line. We are struggling with it. We haven't come up with an easy answer, but that was thinking behind the assistant principal piece. The other thing is, when you talked about the layers, one of the reasons of getting changing that director of curriculum position was the layers, because even though it wasn't literally over supervising, for the teachers it was like there wasn't a clear direction of where they were going, and it was sort of like layers and layers between the superintendent and the teacher. So this is actually flattening it by 1, but by having it at that level. So I haven't answered your question other than to say, that was our reasoning for keeping the